Hi, my name is Philip Madison. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I first realized I wanted to pursue a career in fashion in 2016. I happened to be in New York City, staying in Times Square, and it was Fashion Week. So I got on the list and I went to see Manuel's show, who is from Nashville, Tennessee. Being in that show, I realized at that moment, this is a life for me. The biggest issues I go through doing the show sometimes are the models. Some of the newer models don't realize they're just a hanger, so therefore I don't need their opinion on the style that I put them in. My favorite thing about being a fashion designer is showing my creativity and where my mind goes. I love luxury and I love the finer things in life. To set up for an event really doesn't take me a long time. I've done shows in Nashville where I thought about it in 1 week and 2 weeks later we had a show.
I actually met a lot of good people.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I met a pageant director. Honey, I'm horrible with names, so don't ask me.
Okay.
Names. But she owns a pageant, and she actually asked me to be the director of the pageant here in Orlando.
God.
So
See,
I guess I'll be
everybody in
director
here is
pageant.
feeling you. I don't know. I'm gonna keep you in a little box for myself.
Orlando has been great. The city is so
feeling
welcoming.
you.
Yeah,
Yes,
so she wants me to be
everybody
the
loves
pageant
you.
director. She's like, what if I need to fly you out of here? Girl, fly me wherever.
Working in fashion today from when I first started is very different because a lot of people are trying to get all-inclusive. So therefore, we're working with more different body styles, body types, and people from all different backgrounds. Some of the celebrities that I've worked for included when I first started working for Manuel. I've rhinestone clothing for Little Richard for his Tour de France. I've done clothing for Marty Stewart. We've also worked on projects for Jack White and countless others. I was the king of bling, so I worked in the rhinestone room and I would rhinestone countless stars' clothing. I chose fashion design as a career because I was always looking for what was my purpose. And when I was 27 years old, being there in New York in Fashion Week, I knew at that moment that was my purpose. Skills that are necessary for a successful fashion designer are being very creative, making your collection make sense. There's a lot of people that can make great clothes, but when it comes to putting together a collection, it just doesn't make sense. So being successful, you need to create a story with your clothing. My background in fashion, I started as an intern with the legendary Manuel. Manuel has worked with over 60 motion pictures, including helped create the jumpsuit for Elvis Presley, making Johnny Cash famous for The Man in Black, helping make the mask for The Lone Ranger, and many more. After interning with Manuel, I then started my own modeling agency, which is Dollhouse, the agency in Nashville, Tennessee, where I represented more than 40 models and we ran the city. After my modeling agency, I then created my own fashion line, King Philip. King Philip started with t-shirt lines. Ludacris actually has like 4 or 5 of them. From there, I talked to some investors and we were working on my collection of gowns and they felt that King Philip was a little too masculine for the gowns. So I went with the name Philip Madison. Madison is actually my fairy godchild. So that's where my name came from, Madison. So from there, I created my first collection. I showed at a country club in Nashville, Tennessee. After showing my collection, Nashville Fashion Week seen it, and suddenly I was an emerging designer in Nashville, Tennessee, where I showed my collection on the runway during Nashville Fashion Week 2012. After showing my collection, I became the official red carpet correspondent for Nashville Fashion Week. And from there, the story goes on and on. Inspiration started with my mom. When I was younger, my mom made a lot of my clothes. She used patterns and she done a lot of little creative things. She was a seamstress as well. She worked at a sewing factory when sewing factories was around in the US. And a lot of my inspiration came from her and the ladies that she used to work with.